All right, let's look at two very interesting graphs of theory to kind of close this out. These are kind of how pickup should look if pickup were a mathematical equation. All right, so here's time. This is energy. An interaction with a girl is a good one is gonna look a little like this. You start out, you open, you have to be at kind of a high energy. You have to get her attention, you have to get her to focus on you, you have to get her in your frame, okay? And then ideally, it should even maybe go up because it gets a little bit better. So it might go up or it might just go level, something like that. But it goes up or goes level. And then it's gonna eventually start to go down. Because if you think about the frame that you're gonna have when you're sitting and getting to know a girl, or when you're like intimately kind of cuddling, gonna have sex or that kind of thing, it's a lower energy kind of frame. If you've ever gotten a girl back to your place that's a little too hyper and like bouncing off the walls and tried to actually like escalate and move things forward with her, you realize how fucking difficult it is, right? You don't want to keep it at this high energy level the whole time. Also, you don't want to keep it at the high energy level the whole time because it's exhausting. It's actually very, very, very hard to keep up. It's easier to run a set at a lower energy level than a higher energy level. So for that reason, things are going to go down. Now, the issue with that for most guys occurs right about here, which is it was really fun. It was a lot of energy and intensity. It started to calm down. I started to get to know her. I was starting to like really build a connection with her. And then it was like she got bored and like she just like we just exchanged numbers and she left, or even she just like some other shiny thing came along and she left. So how do you keep the girl? How do you keep her attention as the energy level is going down? Because when the energy level is going down, the interaction is getting inherently kind of worse, right? And here's how. This is energy. This is time. What you do is, so when I look at energy, I'm thinking like calories being burned in the set, kind of. It's how much like actual like blah, blah, blah is going on in the set. So that's going down. But what you can do is you can increase something else to compensate for that loss. So here's one. One is physical escalation. So what you're doing is you're bringing the energy down, but maybe now you're like hugging her and sitting on the couch together, or you're holding hands, or like there's occasional kissing going on, that kind of stuff, right? So that brings the intensity back up and keeps the sort of like emotional energy of the set high, even as the physical energy of the set is going down. So this is physical escalation. Okay, so that's one. Another solution would be, to a certain extent, this is a little bit less useful, but can work. You could add sort of a little bit of like emotional intimacy, right? If you're talking about very like the topics that mean a lot to you, mean a lot to her, if you add some of that in over time, you can kind of compensate for the drop in energy through that. Okay, so that's another thing that you can use to kind of replace that lack of energy. The third one, which is actually my personal favorite, and I think in a lot of ways the best, is to replace it with compliance. Okay, so we talk about getting girls to comply, getting girls to make decisions in your favor. Each time you make a decision, that's an act in the real world. And so emotions can kind of go away. Emotions last for a little bit and they go away, but acts in the real world last. And so this one kind of looks like this. It's like it goes up in stairs. You got a little bit of compliance here, a little bit of compliance here, a little bit of compliance here. And that like sort of stair-stepped compliance that just kind of builds up throughout the set can kind of supplant it as well. Compliance / you could call it decision if you like. Like decisions in your favor, agreeing with your frame, those kind of things. So what you're doing over time is as you're escalating physically, as you're building compliance, as your emotional intensity is going up, that gives you the leeway to not have to try so hard, not be so dancing monkey, not be like the guy that has to keep the conversation going so hard throughout the interaction, right? And actually it's really good because when you start burning fewer calories and she's very invested, she'll actually typically start burning more of the calories to keep it going. Like if you leave a silence, she'll start filling that silence. Because you have this interaction that's been really good, there's some physical escalation, she's complied, she's feeling emotionally intense. Now there's this silence, and she really feels that loss, and she's like, oh shit, I don't want this to end, and she starts working for you. she starts chasing you. Okay, and that's what you really want to have happen. Okay? So you do want this energy to go down, but you have to replace it with something. You can't just drop the energy because you want to drop the energy. You have to have these other things going on in order to replace it. Otherwise, the girl will get bored. Okay? So that's very, very, very useful.